So I want to start this video off, first of all, by saying good morning. I am starting my new job today, my new day job. I've already talked to my customers, let them know what's going on, and pretty much limiting my time with my networking company. At my network company, my computer consulting company, which I've already, which I'll talk about here a little bit more in here in a moment. But I switched up my computer setup. I used to have two 43-inch monitors and two 22-inch monitors. I got to fix the holes here on the wall. I'm coming back from being sick. But now what I got is a Surface Pro 6. And this thing is pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I have it on a Kensington docking station. And then I have another docking station connected to it that allows me to have this third monitor. This thing supports two monitors natively. And this is my Surface, and pretty much this is the laptop I use on a regular basis on the go and everything. So have my little case here with the Surface Pro keyboard. But this is really cool. These are now two 32-inch curved screens and a single 29-inch. Is it 20? Yeah, 29-inch LG monitor, and this acts as and this is in portrait mode. So I can view more lines of code here. So really cool setup. I like it a lot so far, and so far it's actually done quite a bit, or it's quite a bit for, or it should be doing more for my productivity. So now I can take my environment, my virtual machines, my development environment that I do for work for customers, and I can take that on the road with me. This is my old laptop, which I'll be reformatting and repurposing for something, and then this is my dev rack. But right now I'm going to go on my walk, and we can start to talk. Lock the room door here. So what I'm going to start doing from now on, first up, I'll kind of go into my schedule. Wait, come on. It's hard to do that with one hand. I'll go into my schedule here and talk a little bit about what's going on and what my plans are once I walk out the door. So it's 6 in the morning here in Florida. I'm just getting over a little bit of like flu symptoms. Been taking amoxicillin and NyQuil and all its variations, plus a whole ton of Ricola cough drops. So I've gained some weight back. I'm like 7 pounds. I think it's like about 7 pounds between like eating junk food, pizza and shit, and not really caring and not being able to do any type of exercise. So now I'm back on the street. So first things first, what I'm going to start doing is waking up early in the morning, 6 o'clock, do my morning walk on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this is how I'm going to be exercising and getting my 2 a days in a sense, with working out. It's just something that I really want to keep on doing going into the new year, and losing weight and getting down to about 300 pounds. I'm right about 320 right now. I should be able to lose the weight that I gained from the debauchery that I was a part of in terms of in terms of what I was doing, what I was doing while I was sick. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is I have to be at work at 9 in the morning. I'm going to probably start at 9 a.m. But I'm going to start this new day job working for a mortgage company. This mortgage company, pretty decent, doing tier 3 support, higher level support. Be working actually with my former business partner, or current business partner really, and essentially what I had to do is send an email out to customers letting them know, hey, I will no longer be doing or I'll be limiting my time with MJ Network Solutions, and I won't be able to do like the day-to-day, in middle of the day support calls. I've already sent customers recommendations. Some customers are like, listen, Mike, if anything, we'll wait until 12 o'clock at night and work with you. Some customers are like, okay, sorry to hear that. Congratulations. I hope you do a little bit more. And sorry to see that you're going to be gone. So I can't say it's a bummer. I'm trying to move and change, in a sense, professions here, because I want to get more into data sciences. There's a lot. I was talking with somebody last night, and he says you get dumber over time in certain, like when you're kind of low, like asleep at the wheel, in a sense, with your career. One of the things that, I know you guys can't see anything, but I'm gonna hold the camera up regardless. But one of the things that happens is we start to work and we get into the daily grind, if you will, or as they say, and we don't do what's necessary to improve our skills over time. We don't do what's necessary to keep up on our skills, keep up on what we're doing. I really should have brought my dang umbrella. I do not need to get rained on again. Excuse me. And that causes us to really just get dull. And as I say, get dumb. There's so much that's moving by, you know. You have things like artificial intelligence, neural networks, systems and programs like TensorFlow, Pandas for number crunching. You know, I want to start doing financial analytics. I want to start doing other types of data analysis. I want to start doing more work in the ETL space. As you guys saw a couple months ago, for those that were listening, I'm starting an ETL business. It'll be TreeStar Systems. I've kind of got one customer on board. I'm still doing work for them for free to prove myself. And I've done quite a bit, actually. And it's actually worked out fairly well in terms of what I'm doing and the fact that, hey, this can actually be a viable source of income for me. What I plan on doing with that, with TreeStar Systems, moving away from the MJNS stuff and doing more data analytics and letting customers know that, hey, that service is available, for like the larger business customers, of course. With TreeStar Systems, I'll be doing data aggregation, number crunching, automated number crunching and data aggregation, and moving all that stuff and transforming it where necessary and loading it into a data warehouse or database or even a platform where people can take that information and, have business intelligence platforms pull from it, creating dashboards, so on and so forth. So that's going to be something that's really I'm kind of happy about, and I'm kind of hype about. Had to take a couple of weeks off from it in terms of just headspace, getting around what I'm going to have to do, the move that I'm going to have to make. It's going to have to get more, I'm going to have to get better time management so that I can say, okay, more time devoted to this, or enough time devoted to doing this work for TreeStar Systems, and more time, devoted to growing this portion of the business. This is going to fall in line with my 2-year plan, which is going to be quite a few different things. I really still have to kind of write it out to make sure I can at least post it up so I can remind myself of what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and I can hit my goals. It's a bit of a hard transition because MJ Network Solutions, I built that over 10 years along with my business partner Jermaine, and I'll still be working with him in this new job. He's the one that really got me a job. As far as the job getting a new job was concerned, I had some choices to make. I had 3 different kind of jobs kind of just going after me in a sense. So I'll be keeping my night job because I make probably about 50 something a year on that, close to that. Yeah, just about 50 grand a year. And geez, that's annoying. So 50 grand a year on that job, because I don't really do much. But what it'll allow me to do, in a sense, is kind of I guess you could say double dip, because now I can actually do the night job, then go off to the day job. That's going to be hard. Those are going to be hard days. So those are usually Mondays and Tuesdays, where I'm going to have to do both jobs pretty much back to back from one another. But with the night job, I can actually get some sleep, while I'm pretty much at work, take a break and things like that. So that flexibility is there, and they really want to keep me, so that's good. I had a offer for Lennar Homes, but that was through a staffing agency, which I never really liked them. But Lennar Homes was actually a pretty cool interview. I really liked how I got tested. Everybody that I interviewed with that day, they were very excited about me. The knock manager, it would have been another knock job, but the knock manager was saying, hey, I think you're going to be a really good asset. The systems guy, he was like, well, yeah, we need more people like you, in a sense. Patted me on the back and everything. Was very impressed with, my resume, and then like my on-site demeanor and behavior and everything like that. And then the networking guy, he actually tested me on IGP's interior gateway protocols, which was great because it was testing my knowledge of for my Cisco certification, which I did just recently recertify for Cisco CCNA, or the CCNA, on December 2nd. So that was like last week Monday. So December 2nd I recertified. Now that cert is done, and now I have to go on to the other 7 certs that I got to deal with. So recertifying for 2 others, and gaining another 5. So I'll be doing that for the next year, and that's a part of my 2-year plan. But I got tested on interior gateway protocols, taking connected routes, putting in the routing table, and then distributing those routes between different neighbors or adjacencies, and then redistributing those routes into an interior border gateway protocol, so that I can have like a whole network. And he was just like, man, the fact that just the keywords, and then you could Google the rest, I'm totally okay with. So there would have been great growth in that job, and that was for Lennar Homes. Extremely big company. I think the #1 home builder in the nation, in the U.S. So that would have been actually really cool. If it sounds like I'm out of breath, it's because I haven't walked in a while, and I'm still getting over my cold. So excuse me for that. I'll try and keep up with the video. I guess this is another level of exercising. So I turned that job down. They were going to pay me the $36.50 I was asking for, which would have worked out to be gross $75,920 a year. Another job that I interviewed 4 different times. I had 4 different interviews with these people, and it was like over a month. And if I even prayed to even get the job, and after a while I didn't even want the job. 1, the interview process was fairly long, and 2, just the restrictive nature of the job. They wanted a senior system admin, and that company was Polyglass, and it actually would have been a good fit, but except for the way they were kind of really adamant. Let that pass. Really adamant about me not doing anything else, and kind of stepping away from my consulting, which I was going to do anyway, because I would have just, and I could have, in terms of like not doing it on their time and things like that. So, but I respect the person that's going to be paying me and my employer, so I wasn't too worried about that. One thing that was said was, making sure, hey, Mike, you're not going to be doing any consulting, and we want you to make sure that they send out an email. They're gonna watch me send an email, in a sense indemnifying them, or separating the two, or those 2 lives, I guess, if you will. And at that I was just like, okay, well, good thing, because or hope you guys don't know about the 3,700 square foot salon I have down in Miami. And, I never told them about that, and I would eventually said something. But my salon doesn't really get in the way of my day-to-day anyway. And I'll talk more about the salon as well. So then there's that. They were offering $82,000 with a 10% bonus. And I turned that down because of the restrictive nature, because what would have happened is I couldn't have worked the night job, definitely. And I kind of wanted to keep that because I'm trying to follow the Dave Ramsey personal finance track in terms of doing things, being a mercenary, and being a financial mercenary, and attacking my debt that I do have. Excuse me. Thankfully, it's not school loan debt. It is mostly credit card debt, and that debt is from all the stuff from the salon. Probably about 70 grand total. 25 of that is my truck. Got a 2017 Ford Explorer, but I want to pay all that off, and I should be able to do that by the end of the year, end of 2020. So I'm excited about that. And that's one of the reasons why I made the move and did it the way I did it, so that I can actually work both jobs, have those multiple sources of income, still do consulting, and even start a whole new business. And eventually in the next 2 years, do work to start other businesses as well. And again, I'll get into that. So that would have been about 90 grand. But with working a night job and a day job, I'll be netting probably about 100 grand or 6 figures. So it's kind of worth it to just go with the, and then I wouldn't have caught up as fast as well without doing what I'm planning on doing. And that was a bummer to me, and I didn't want to be under the heel of debt for a long period of time, because I just turned 34 in November. So didn't take that. New company is a mortgage company, and I'll be working. I got the job through my business partner. He's the manager there, and he knows my value, my worth in a sense. I will be taking a bit of, it's not what I want to make, but at least I can work this job for the next 2 years or so, decide where I want to go, and still be able to make money in other places. And they're all pretty cool over there, so we'll see how that all works and if everything plays out the way I want it to. I'm really hoping everything will work out, but I'm going to just, hold my head down, stay focused, and get what I need done. That job, went in there, job was like, I think they're kind of asking 65 grand, or starting at 65 grand, and I kind of was like, no, I want 75. Like, I'm not expecting to get 80, 90 from you, and actually 75 was more than what my business partner, who's the manager there, for the IT manager there, is more than what he was making. So what that actually forced them to do is give him a bump. So that's kind of cool. Came in, he got a bump so he can get paid more than me, and that worked out great for him, and he's happy because now he has somebody, one, he has more money, and now he has somebody that he can kind of just bounce things off of that's of similar intelligence to himself. We're really on the same level, and that's how I've always worked with him. So that's it for the job search. That took a while. Went through a lot the past couple months, especially since August, in terms of just working and trying to get things going, and trying to put myself in a better position. Good morning. So trying to put myself in a better position so I can actually do what I need to do to really fix everything that's going on, and in a sense going wrong, that I feel. So one thing let's go on to the 2-year plan and what that actually entails. Basically, the 2-year plan is setting myself up for my late 30s, early 40s. I just turned 34 on November 20th. So now that's last month now. And I'm trying to put myself in the right position to set myself up for retirement, 401ks and other things like that. Putting the right money aside, making the right money so I can put stuff aside. And then, of course, going on to buy an actual home here in the next couple years. I always plan things out at least 2 years ahead, sometimes 5. I want to get more into data sciences, so that's tree star systems. So first, let's look at income streams. One, day job, $75K. 2, night job, 50K. And those are my primary sources of income. 3, which has been moved down. This has gotten me quite a bit of money over the years and allowed me to invest the 6 figures that I put into my salon along with my night job. But moving the MJ Network Solutions in terms of consulting, moving that down in terms of priority and earning potential from that. But I should be making another 10 to 15 as opposed to the 20 to 50 that I was making with it over the years. So that's still going to be good. So we're just going to put that at about 10 grand or so, you know, after splits and everything like that. I should be coming home with 10 grand out of that. And I actually want to start doing more stuff with that, but getting better time management, because that's one thing that I've definitely failed at. Definitely failed at over the years. And that's one thing I want to correct. So that brings me about, so, you know, 125, so 135, and then doing more with TreeStar Systems. TreeStar Systems, I'm going to be looking for at least to put myself on retainer or do a retainer-based fee schedule, if you will, where I'll talk to customers and put myself in, probably say about like $1,000 a month from that, just from one customer alone, and going from there and increasing that over time so that I can actually make things like, you know, another 30, 40 grand with it over time until I can say, hey, listen, let me just do this full time. And that's kind of what I want to move towards, is doing full-time work. Doing full-time work. And sorry for all the noise. It's the morning time. So yeah, doing full-time work with that and making good money. So we'll probably put that at about another 12 grand. So that's $1 grand a month, put myself on retainer for this first customer. Who knows, it may only be 6 grand because they don't want to pay the $1 grand a month for custom programming and everything like that. But I'm really trying to put a lot into the free services that I'm giving them right now. These dogs always want to bark at me. But so putting another 12 grand, that brings me from 135 to 147 gross. Then working on taking some of that money and investing. So I still have the salon. That's not making me any money. That's actually costing me money every month. And those businesses take a while. And I talked to my business partners and I said, hey, listen, pretty much my video about nobody wants to buy shit, you know, especially your shit. So we're still in the process of selling that. I suspect that's going to be at least a net loss of, I'll be lucky if it's a net loss of 20 grand. But I'll still walk away with probably about 90 grand in that scenario. Walk away with 90 grand. We're still trying to make improvements to that business. Still trying to make it to where, excuse me. Still trying to make improvements to that business and still trying to make it where we're filling up the seats. Talk to one of my customers, and hopefully I can actually get this interview. Talk to one of my customers about how to make better choices and listen to my market in a sense, which is, you know, the people that want to buy chairs from us that are not buying chairs from us, you know, setting our prices a little bit lower and filling up those seats. Now, if we fill up those seats and then go ahead and still sell the business, then we're looking at possibly even like 500 grand or even more, you know, or getting it up to the 500 grand, which will actually be a net gain for us, but still wouldn't be what we want, but it'll still be a lot better than where we would be coming from. So if we sell the salon for about 360 grand, minus seller's fee or seller broker's fee and maybe anything else, incidentals, and catching up on other bills and everything like that, and paying down on the debt that the salon has, which is mainly the equipment loan that we have, then we're looking at coming away at 360, that is, coming away with 90 grand. Per my calculations, that would be about a 20 grand net loss for me. That sucks. but I can at least still take that money and then go ahead and buy a decent home here in Florida or move out of state, which is what I'm kind of thinking as well. So that's one thing that I'm looking at and dealing with right now. That's it for the salon stuff. And so that's a part of the 2-year plan. Another part of the 2-year plan is starting working on my ghetto holy trinity of business. 1 is a laundromat, 2 is a liquor store, and 3 is some type of liquor store slash corner store, and 3 is a fast food joint. Something like a Subway would be nice. Subway only takes about $100,000 to get into. I can take that money from the salon and put into that, or I can bankroll it myself or cash flow it myself with the proceeds or with my savings from working the day job and everything like that, because I'll have quite a bit of excess. Literally, I mean, as I've said before, I live with my mom, so my income, my housing expenses are very low. And what I can do is once I get a home, then I can move her in with me so that I can actually do things like she doesn't have to work or anything like that, which will be great. And then I can even move my dad in as well, so he doesn't have to work, because they're getting a little bit older. They're in their 60s, but they're getting a little bit older, so, and you know, they're not wanting to work anymore as well. So that'd be really cool if I can get that done. Really, really nice. Also going into other investment avenues. So one would be the coin laundry, the laundromat, and I'm seeing those like small ones, maybe with about 10 machines, 5 dryers, 5 washers, for about $30,000. You know, if you go on bizbuysell.com, kind of a search engine for businesses that are on sale, they sell a lot of franchises on there. Sometimes it's just one-off businesses, but they have either dry cleaners or laundromats starting at $30,000. So if I can get one for like 30, maybe even $50,000, my maximum is probably about like $100,000 to spend on something like that. But that's a big operation. I want something small first, so I can learn, cut my teeth on that, and then, excuse me, cut my teeth on that. I burp a lot because, you know, walking will just help with the digestion. But cut my teeth a lot and get to the point where I'm making some good money off of that. That'd be really, really cool. Hopefully making some money, looking to make probably about $1,000 a month. So multiply that 2 to 3 times over, get a couple laundromats, spruce them up, bring them to a certain level of cleanliness, if you will, or a certain status, and then even do a bulk sale later on where I can actually make a lot of money on the sale side. So that will be a equity play, kind of like what we're doing with the salon. So yeah, I'm really kind of going for that, and hopefully that'll work out. But so that's in the next 2 years. What I plan on doing in this first year of the 2-year plan is attacking the debt financially. Speaking, I'll attack the debt, then brush up on my skills, improve my skills, doing things like getting more certifications. I have like another 7 certifications on my hit list, and bolstering my skills there. That if I needed to, I can get a higher paying job, so I can get the 6 figures that I want. So going to security, I've already done the networking portion. I need to get Linux recertified, but I've gone over that before, and I'll probably do another video with that. Afterward, or during that time, plan on what I'm going to do the second year of the 2-year plan, which is the hold on. Yeah, the second year, which is going to be saving up for a home. Now, if I sell the salon, I can, and depending on where I'm at with the savings, my goal is probably saving up about $100,000, which I can possibly do in a year, depending on how frugal I am and strict I am with my budget. Getting close to that within, actually $70,000 easy within a year. at my current budget level and or plans, and then moving on to maybe even more with what I can be doing with, making more money in other areas and things like that. A couple things will have to fall off because I won't be able to handle it in terms of time. But if I can put myself in a good position, get a couple people around me, mentor, and then have a bit of an assistant, an employee that can do some of the things and kind of offset some of this, then I can really grow Coin Laundry and secondary income or other businesses, secondary, tertiary businesses that'll come from that. So really, I'm trying to get into a small business, something that's service, to where I can run it from home and then still do 1 or 2 calls during the day and not go crazy with it in terms of having to spend a lot of time on it. Because I want to have businesses where I can be somewhat of an absentee owner and I don't have to be there throughout the day, and it just runs itself. Coin Laundry has classically been that. Subway can be that if you hire proper personnel management, but that costs money, so that might be a while before I can get into something like that. A liquor store can be that, but you have to watch out for theft to ensure that you're making all your money. So that's kind of the thought process on that. Let's move towards closing up the video because it's been long enough. And if you made it this far, great. I mean, I really appreciate you sticking with me and listening to me express my feelings and thought processes about my future. And hopefully I can help somebody else put themselves together and make a plan. But working through the Dave Ramsey plan or the debt snowball and things like that, working through paying off the like $50,000 with a just like upfront business debt that I have to get rid of, and then the other 20, which is going to be I'm paying off debts that are going to be like $10,000 for a line of credit, $10,000 for a credit card over here, so on and so forth. And literally with the income, I'll have an excess income because of my living situation and paying little to nothing by living with moms. I'll have an excess of about $5,000 a month. And with that, I can pay off all these debts. Some of these debts, I can pay them off within a month in some cases, for some of the smaller ones, or pay them off in 2 to 3 months. So it's not like I'm going to be like sitting here with like where you see a lot of people there in 6 figures worth of debt because it's school loan debt. I already paid off my school loan debt years ago, thankfully. And thank God for giving me the strength so that I can actually play football and the opportunity to play football for an actual small little school. So I paid that off years ago because I didn't really have much of any. I think it was like 12 grand, and that was like one of the first things I paid off back in 2010, 2011. I remember one time I made a payment, and the payment was so ahead of time. It says you don't have to make a payment until something 2020. And it's funny, and that was like in 2011, 2012. And that was the last time I kind of did this same plan where I focused on research.